What's up, YouTube? This is Kernonos here, back to you with a live video. Now, what you see here is an e-bike. The name is on it. It's self-explanatory on what kind of e-bike it is. I would say this is a bit of a review of this bike. Don't mind this. Don't mind this. These are just my personal attachments. You know, something I need because I take this bike to work. And so I need to actually see what's behind me in those late nights. I can see because this thing right here, man, the kind of light that brings ain't worth shit. I trust this because this is bright. This is very bright. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the mileage on this thing and what it was actually advertised to be. Now, all over Google, all over the website itself, including Amazon and the YouTube channel, said this thing right here can go as far as 25 miles to the charge. I'm going to tell you right now, that is cap. This is absolutely cap. The only thing they got right about this thing is the fact that it can go as high as 20 miles an hour. Which even then it kind of struggles to do. You know, like it absolutely struggles to go 20 miles an hour. Not impossible, it's just that it struggles. I barely make it to work and back with this thing. By the time I get back home from work, riding this thing is almost dead. Like, it's on one bar. My job, the distance between my job and my house, it's about 4.5 miles. So I'm going to say all together, 9 miles in total. Now, I did see on the YouTube channel that weight could be a factor. Hilly terrain could also play into a factor. I don't weigh that much. I'm 180 pounds. There's not much hilly areas where I live. There are some, but some that should not be a problem for this bike, like at all. At all, should there be any kind of issue with terrain that's making it drain so fast. Now what is that? Eisenwheel? You're the company of this, right? Now this is a call out to Eisenwheel. If I'm saying your name right, if I'm not saying your name right, please do leave it in the comment section on how to pronounce that company's name. But this, unless it's something actually wrong with mine, This thing does not get nowhere close to 25 miles to the charge. Now, if they are saying, if you got this thing on the lowest of settings, in which case, if you have it on the lowest settings, this thing is going about 8 miles. I think it's going about 8 miles an hour. Not that slow. It sure as hell ain't fast, but it's not slow either. Okay, and so let's just say that. Then maybe you might get this thing to go maybe 15 miles. Because I had this thing on the lowest settings. And I want to say, let's see, I got about halfway down to my job. There's like a roundabout about halfway point to my job. At the lowest settings, when I made it to that roundabout, that's about maybe 2 miles. This thing already had lost 2 bars. When I got about maybe a block away from my job, this thing was on 3 bars. So imagine my anxiety when I'm down that same roundabout and this thing hits 1 bar. Imagine my panic right there. It's a pretty heavy bike, so trying to pedal this thing is already rough. And when you're pedaling, like when you're pedaling and the engine or whatever is not going, yeah, it's heavy to pedal. When the engine does get going, you're kind of ghost pedaling at this point. Maybe the settings, I gotta change the settings to put a little bit more power into the pedals when it's starting to get to that point where the engine runs as I'm pedaling. Point is, this thing does not get 25 miles to the charge. I call bullshit on that. Unless I got a faulty one, in which case it seems like that's where my luck always comes to, me getting half broken or faulty stuff. Who knows? Maybe that might be the case. And who knows how long this thing may have been sitting in a factory before it was ordered and delivered to me. Because yeah, it took about a week for it just to get to me in the first place. Because it had to come from California all the way to here where I live. Now it's not in any way a bad bike. It is a very, very good bike with that one flaw. Now, my job doesn't pay me enough to actually replace a battery just like that. if that's the case, if that's the reason why it's like draining so fast, because it's having a battery issue, which shouldn't be the case, because this thing is fresh out of the box. I had to put this thing together. That was 3 days ago. Yeah, that was 3 days ago. I love the bike. I really do. It's a fast bike. But it's not that great to me if I have to actually worry about the speed of the bike, because it's going to drain the battery up before I can even get halfway to work. If I'm pushing it in constantly at its max speed, it's going to drain within 5 miles instead of 25. It's like, I'm sorry to rant about this thing. I really am. But somebody please tell me if it's just me pushing it too hard, or is it just really something faulty with it? Because I live nowhere near California, so I can't go and just take this thing to wherever it came from. The closest thing I can do is maybe take it to the bike shop where I got one of my older bikes fixed and see what they say. Otherwise, I do love the bike. I just wish it got a little bit more distance before I have to worry about if this thing is going to die on me and I got to push this thing home. Because I'm going to tell you, I live in the hood, dude. I live in the hood. Somebody will snatch this thing from me, and let's just say I won't be gushers, or whatever those candies called, out of my head for this bike. So yeah. But anyways, that's just something I wanted to rant about. I love the bike, and I just wish it was a little bit better. As far as my next fake granddaughter video, whatever is coming on New Year's Eve, maybe the next probably the next Obi-Wan banner, which might be sometime late this month. Who knows? No, because Lost Belt 7 is sometime this month, so that's not happening. I'll figure it out. Unfortunately, the funds are not quite there for KukaCon, Tezcatlipoca, and Tlaloc. I won't be able to get any of those services right now, so. But yeah. If you enjoyed this, I guess this review of this bike, please do leave a comment, please do leave a like, please do share the video, because I definitely want this company to see this video and explain to me why this bike barely gets 10 miles to the charge, and when it is advertised to get 25 miles to the charge. Thank you. Have a nice day.